Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. Well, my voice. This is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. Thank you for joining our call today. Super excited for what we get to create today. I did my daily GPS this morning, and I'm just in this joyful laughter energy, super happy and excited to be alive, to just be starting a new day with new knowledge, new understanding, new divine tutoring. Super happy for what gets to happen today. And that's what we're going to focus on this morning, is gratitude for joy in creating, and just see what comes up. So I'm not going to give any more instruction or backstory. I'm just going to start the timer. We're going to have a 90-second private meditation, silent meditation. Just write down whatever comes to you and your own personal inspiration on gratitude for joy in creating. Begin. All right. I'll share just a little bit of a backstory from, I was sharing before we started the recording, I was sharing with those who were on the call live that I had an awesome daily GPS this morning, got some new divine tutoring, and I'm just was giddy with laughter. I seriously was laughing like 2 minutes, and at just the excitement of seeing something that I've been wanting to manifest for several years, actually, that I actually saw it, that it already exists, but just in an alternate reality. And it was just such an exciting experience to see that this thing actually physically exists already. And all I had to do was just open up the door to the alternate reality and invite it in. And I mean, it was definitely more than just that, but that's just like in a nutshell, kind of what happened this morning. And I'm super excited to create some videos on, some of the things that have been learning over the last few days, to post in our Lord's Way to Wealth Mastermind. Wow, just super exciting. So that's kind of the backstory. Now I'll just share a quick minute about what I got just now in my private meditation. Was about the love and joy that I feel when I create a beautiful gift for someone, or even a beautiful gift for myself. I love creating things. I'm an artist. I love sewing. I love embroidery, crocheting. I love to cook. So there's a lot of things that I, kind of get my hands in that could be called creating. And when I do that for someone, there's like this connection that happens that is very joyful and happy when I do it in a way where I'm like putting myself in that person's place, kind of getting in their energy and being like, I wonder what they would like, what would really bring joy to them. And then I take the time to create something that matches up with that energy that I know that, they love. That I think the creation process is just as joyful as actually handing them the gift and having them open it up and say, oh, it's perfect. That's fun. I think the creating part, when I'm hand designing or making a gift for someone, there's so much joy in that. So that's what I got this morning. Who else would like to share something about gratitude for joy in creating?
I'm grateful for the joy that comes from creating. It comes from being engaged in life. I get to do, I get to create, to be in action, using my mind, my spirit, and my might. When I'm actively engaged in creating, it just creates, it's so funny, it's a repeat, it just creates joy. And it creates more imagination. Well, I was really grateful to refrain from idleness, and I think the opposite of that is creating. So when you're idle, it stifles you, and when you're creating, it just brings joy and more inspiration and happiness. Thank
you. I love that, and you're absolutely right. It feeds on itself, doesn't it? Like there's joy in the creation, and then when we're creating it, it inspires our imagination. It even creates more imagination. I want to just touch on your thought about refraining from idleness, that in the world, things that are living are always creating. They're always growing. They're always expanding. You think of like a tree. Every year it grows a new ring. But if the tree dies, then it begins to decay. And so if it's just sitting there not doing anything, it's decaying. So really in life, there is no idleness. It's either growing or decaying. So we definitely want to be growing. Thank you. Who else?
Just there's a pause. I would like to add something.
Okay, quick addition, Mary, and then
I will. It's I'm just going to say, when I am engaged in all of what I've got going on, and I take a break, and I don't want to say it. Never mind.
We want to know.
Well, okay. So if distractions can come, right? And you think, well, I'm just going to take a break because but then those breaks can turn into you're doing something other than the creative process, but it turns into, this is a break into just more of it, and it's more idleness. It's just idleness, even though you're maybe engaged in, watching Netflix or whatever, is it serving you? Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. And that's a form of idleness.
Thank you. I'm really glad that you shared that, because we all do need to relax. But taking a break, if we can maybe even look at it differently as I'm creating something different. My mom always used to say, a change is as good as a rest. And so like, if I was tired of doing something, she'd give me another job to do something different. We'll just do something different. But doing something different could be watching a movie. But it's not, being idle or taking a break. It's like, oh, I'm just going to do something different. I'm going to create in a different way right now. Leland.
I just like to share creating like new connections with new friends, because growing up I had grandparents who came from Germany after World War II, so they were very maybe like, I wouldn't really call them like really like white supremacists, or like very like they're a bit racist sometimes with the comments that they'd say, and I've never really had that mind set on like people myself growing up, but I've always been in a small community where it's just there's not a lot of mix and with different cultures. But this last year, I've been able to meet lots of new people from different areas of the United States, and just like I've created like kind of a new group of friends, and they're all from different states, and we're keeping more connected over this last month here. So I'm really grateful for this like new connections, and we're just like we're all different. We're all different. Not the best way to say this, but it's just like yeah, me and one younger guy who's younger than me, we're both Caucasians. One that's African American, and one that's his family's from China, and we're all just like we're like really it's like really feels really great to be like from like together. And I never would have really expected for seeing that in my future like a year ago. So I'm like super grateful for new connections, and just like I've created like a new brotherhood with these group of guys that are like all pretty close to my same age.
I love that. That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. I know, and a lot of circles, it's not appropriate to talk about, different cultures and, that there is a difference and, those types of things nowadays. But it's true. We all bring something different to the table. And if we're not open to creating those new connections, we don't experience the joy. And I love that word that you use, brotherhood, that happens when we actually get to know people of different cultures or different communities, different countries even. I know you're from Canada. So yeah, it's I'm super grateful to have the technology to be able to gather people together on a call like this from all different countries, different cities, different states. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else would like to share something?
Oh, Michael here.
Okay, Michael, and then Tammy.
Okay.
My first thought was building something the way I want and doing something that I want the way I want it. Sometimes there's a junk pile here and I think, oh, what can I do with it? And just, wow, look what I created. That just brings joy to the heart. But also, when you create something for others that brings joy to them, it lifts you and it brings joy in your creation. Seeing another's need, creating something with the talents that you have, and you create something that makes a difference for them, or when you're sitting there listening to their problems and you create ideas, you offer ideas to solve their problems, and a light comes on with them and they say, oh, great, and so they have an opportunity to continue to move and in their ideas and the things they were doing. And that brings joy to you, as well as, creating opportunities for them and others. I remember a story real quick. One child was walking down the stairs, and the stairs went halfway down, then they turned, and then they went all the way down, and they spilled something on the wall that kind of left a brownish stain on the wall. And what had happened is everybody was upset, and because now they're going to have to paint the whole wall and, do all this work. And a guy came over and he looked at it and he said, well, here, let me fix that first. And he got out his paint and he painted like a mountain scene with a beautiful waterfall falling down, and trees and stuff. And he painted a mural like at the bottom of the middle of the stairs where it turns. And it changed all their perspectives, and wow, from being this is bad to they couldn't believe the joy that it brought them in his creation. And so using their talent, we can actually help others create their lives in different their view of life in different ways and different opportunities.
Well, awesome. Thank you. Lots of really awesome shares, Michael. That waterfall mural story reminded me of my daughter, who is now a fabulous artist. If you, Maysol Art is what her handle is on Instagram. She's an amazing artist. And when she was little, like 3 years old, I remember she would try to draw and she was so frustrated. And I know inside of her mind, she could see what it was supposed to look like on the paper, but her hand wasn't practiced enough, to be able to create it. And I remember sitting with her and she would start it, and then I would draw the lines around it, to like make it into something. And it would just bring joy to her to see that she started, that we were creating this together, that she started it and I was able to finish it and kind of put on paper what was in her mind. And it is really powerful. It does bring joy when we can add our talents to someone else. And I could have easily just let her be frustrated, not really knowing what the problem was, but I took the time to ask and to find out, what the frustration was, and then was able to help her add my skill, to her desire, and that, created joy. So listening, I love that, what you shared, and masterminding, even if it's just sharing an idea, even if it's not creating something for the person, but just, collaborating is really powerful, that creation. Okay, Tammy, did you have something you wanted to share? And then we'll move to our permission process.
Okay, yeah. So Eileen, when you were first sharing and just talking about the love and joy that you feel as you're creating a beautiful gift for someone, the thought came to me of just the joy that God feels as He is creating different experiences and different gifts to bring into each of our lives. And the ability that we have as we receive different experiences and situations in our lives, the opportunity that we have to ask to be able to feel the joy that He had, even if it's something that might not seem like a gift at first. For example, the last couple of days I've been studying the story of Job in the Bible, and when you first read that his experience really would not come across as a gift, but knowing that God sees it all, the whole picture, there is joy in everything. And so I think being able to receive whatever comes into our lives and be able to ask to be able to feel the joy that God had in preparation of sending that to us is a really valuable tool.
Wow, super valuable. I actually had an experience this morning in my daily GPS right at the end. It was actually while I was praying that I received some understanding about my husband's disability. And it's a gift. It was a gift to me. And that's all I'll share about it. But I just received this just profound gratitude for him, for my husband, and also just saw the wisdom of God in creating that for me in my life. So thank you. That just is confirmation of what I received today too. Thank you. Well, you guys have all created a really awesome energy for us to shift over to our permission process. Let's go ahead and shift over, take a deep breath, just breathe in all of this joy and happiness that we've created here, further understanding, just the gratitude that we have of being given the gift to create. It's almost like God gave us the power to speak our world into creation so that we could experience the joy that he experienced in creating this earth for us to be able to come here and experience in a small degree what he experienced in creating the earth. Just take another deep breath. And with all of this really awesome, yummy energy that's been created, what is the one most important thing that you could do today in going forward in creating and having joy in creating? What's your inspired shortcut today? What's the one most important thing you could do today to find joy in your creating? And just trust that one first thing that comes to you is the perfect thing. It's the only thing that you need to think about. The rest of the list can happen if there's time, but this one thing is the only thing that really needs to be done. And what is your limiting belief as you consider taking action on this inspired shortcut, whether that be letting go of everything else, or if it seems too difficult, or if it seems too easy, if it seems like it's not related to what you want, whatever it is, whatever that limiting belief is about taking action on that inspired shortcut, write that down. And if you allow that limiting belief to run your life, run your day, what is the cost? What will the outcome of today be if you use this limiting belief as a guide to fulfill that inspired shortcut? What is the likely outcome if this limiting belief runs your day? And now that you know what the cost of that limiting belief is, you get to choose. You can hold on to that limiting belief for dear life and say, well, this is just the way it's always been, so it's going to be this way from this point forward. Or you can give yourself permission to let go of that limiting belief and to choose into something different. So if you're ready to let go of the limiting belief and choose something different, say yes.
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 Awesome. So now, if you're ready to let go of that limiting belief, then you've got to replace it with something different. So just like my mom always said, a change is as good as a rest. We're just going to make a change, and we're going to begin creating something different, something that will actually bring joy in our creating. So what are some new beliefs, 2 or 3 new beliefs that will replace that old limiting belief, will allow you to take action powerfully, confidently, courageously on that inspired shortcut and create a different outcome for your day today? What are your new beliefs? When you have 2 or 3 new beliefs, I invite you to look over that list. And as you breathe in, breathe these new beliefs into your body. Take them in as part of the building blocks of your body, the matter, the necessary breath that we're bringing into the oxygen that we're bringing into our body. These are just as life-giving as that oxygen that you're bringing into your body. These new beliefs, allow them to become part of you and to empower you to be able to take action on that inspired shortcut. Just see those new beliefs becoming the building blocks that are going to create something new that you've never experienced before, because these are brand new beliefs that you're stepping into. Recommitting to take action on the inspired shortcut. And we are at the end of our time, so I won't be opening it up for shares, but I do want to invite you all to go to the Facebook group, Breakthrough with Gratitude, and share there any of the thoughts or ahas that you've had on this call today, your new beliefs, whatever it is that you feel like you'd like to share that would be possibly beneficial for someone else, helping their give them joy in creating what they're creating, add a little more joy and lift them with sharing your story of what you've experienced today. And also share with us the joy that you're experiencing in your own creating. Before we end the call, I do want to invite anyone, if you are experiencing any kind of hold back at all, any kind of a block about this idea of having joy in creating or embracing all the how God's orchestrating your life, or anything that has been shared today that you're just feeling a little stuck on, would love to have a 15-minute conversation with you. And that's a free call. You just go to my calendar by going to askwylene.com. That takes you directly to my calendar, and you can schedule a 15-minute call. I've had several of those calls this week. It's been awesome to be able to connect for just a few minutes. And there's a pivotal moment where all of a sudden everything opens up, and it's like, wow, I can actually see the power in just one little tiny tweak. So thank you all for joining our call today. Do reach out to me on askwylene.com if I can help you further, and look forward to reading what you post on our Breakthrough with Gratitude page. Thanks everybody for being here today. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, wylenebenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.